to their holiday destinations. The roads have been pretty busy as last-minute travellers try to make it to their family and loved ones. Scores of people have been travelling to Mozambique from South Africa, and traffic there is stretching all the way from Komati poort to Lebombo border post. For more on this, we're now joined live by Sbongile Mkani Mpolweni. Sbongile, thanks for joining us. Tell us where you are exactly and what is the traffic situation? I see a lot of cars literally parked behind you.
Yes, good afternoon, good evening rather, Peter. Yes, I'm currently 2 kilometers away from Lebombo border post, that is between the border and Komati poort, but traffic stretches in about 7 kilometers away from the border, just past Komati poort. As you can see, loads of cars, they are just idling next to me, and there are cars. I'm just going to move out of shot so that you can have a clear picture of what is happening in just behind me. Those are the traffic that is going to the Lebombo border post. This morning from 7 until 10ish, there were over 7,000 cars that were passing through the border, people actually going through to Mozambique, and there were 24,000 people going out of South Africa through this border post, Peter.
Wow.
As you can see, the traffic is slowly moving, but the border post is open 24 hours just to deal with this kind of traffic. Yesterday alone, we are told that over 30,000 people went past through our border into Mozambique, Peter.
So most of the traffic is going towards Mozambique, is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's people leaving South Africa and going into Mozambique. Those are migrants, Mozambicans who are working in South Africa, as well as holiday makers, South Africans who are going to Mozambique for holiday, Peter.
Do you have any idea what it's like at the actual border post, whether the authorities there have enough people or it's just an overwhelming number? You know, because you're seeing these queues, as you say, 7 kilometers, you'd think that perhaps more staff would have been deployed.
Staff has been deployed, Peter, at the border. We were there earlier on. We're told that there's more police and there's more Home Affairs officials actually helping the people. They are saying to us that this is actually nothing. In the past years, the traffic would stretch up until 15 kilometers to the border, especially on this day, on the day before the Christmas, as most people leave it to the last minute to cross over. So to them, this is nothing new. In fact, they are saying that they are coping. They are speeding the process of getting the people through, because on the way here there are about 3 roadblocks. There's a roadblock at a 7 kilometer, there's a radius, and there's a roadblock at a 10 kilometer radius where they check, they search the cars, they search the loads. There's a truck that's about to pass me right now. They have to search all that load, check if everything that is there is legal, there are no contrabands and there are no drugs. So they do that in all these intervals, all these 3 stops. So if you happen to miss the 10 kilometer search because of congestion, they let you pass, but you're not going to miss the 5 kilometer one or the 3 kilometer one. So they are coping, but the volumes, they are just impossible.
All right, any advice for our commuters in terms of documents and things that they should carry other than a passport to make things easier for themselves?
Those that are traveling with minors, especially taxi drivers and bus drivers, because Home Affairs was telling us that they are experiencing challenges when it comes to public transport. People ferry their kids from South Africa to Mozambique, but they just give the taxi driver the kids and they pay, and they give them their passports, but they don't bring the unabridged certificates and the letter of consent from both parents if the parents are not traveling with them. During the week when we were here, there was a mother that was turned back because she had two daughters. She had their unabridged certificates and her passport, but she didn't have a consent letter giving her permission to cross the border with the 2 kids. And the father is Mozambican, but the father was left behind in Joburg. So she was turned away. So those are the tips that are given to people that are crossing, that if you are traveling with children, make sure that you have the unabridged, and if both biological parents are not there, you must have that letter, or else you won't be allowed to cross over. Number two, the traffic, public transport, taxi drivers and bus drivers, they are also fined if you don't have those documents, because you can't just leave the child here and say, well, we are crossing the mother, you can phone the mother in Joburg. They are fined 15,000 rands. So a person taking a child over, they must make sure that they have all those documents, including that letter. Another thing that they check for is the papers of the car. So if you are holidaying, you are a South African, you are holidaying in Mozambique, you must bring, if your car is still paid by the bank, you must have a letter from the bank granting you permission to go over, which has your names stating that the car belongs to you, and you must have a letter from your insurance company saying that they grant you permission to cross over. But you're still going to buy car insurance at the border, Peter.
All right, Sbongile, thank you so much for that comprehensive advice there, and let's hope that our travellers that take heed will be crossing, hopefully, to Sbongile a little bit later on. There she was, 2 kilometres away from the Lebombo border post going into Mozambique, and she says 30,000 people crossed that border post just yesterday, probably a lot more today.